He was once a dog from around the way. Easy. You know how that song goes. You know, you want to sing it, right? If you've been around, if you haven't, go listen to Easy Easy does it, and you'll know what the words next are. So I got to use that in my intro somehow. I got to add that somehow into my mix without getting a copyright ban, because I've been listening to Easy E lately. I don't know why. It's just, you know, it's one of those things in your playlist that just happens, and all of a sudden you just, one song you play, and then all these other ones come up, and you keep listening. Anyways, today we have two baby DAC and amp combos. We have the topping A50III and the D50III. These things are so freaking cute. And I have to admit, I like them. I like them. So let's stick around. Let's talk about these. Welcome back to the Thrift Shop. I am glad that you are sticking around. We're going to have some fun today. We're going to talk about some good stuff here. You know, we have the topping D50III here, and pretty cool. I would show you the screen, but it is so small. I'll try to pop up a picture, but it does have a screen, but the screen is so freaking small that who really gives a shit, honestly. Anyways, from the stack on the inputs, you do get USB-C, so you can power it separately using USB-C, or you can power it and use USB-C to feed it. You have a Bluetooth antenna, you have optical coax input, and you do get single-ended output and balanced output via 1/4 inch balanced out, which is absolutely stupid. You know it. I know it. I don't have that kind of connection. I'm not going to invest the money in getting that connection. If you already got them, not a problem. Looking at the amp, pretty cool here. So you do get high, medium, and low. You do get a 1/4 inch output, and it looks like 4.4 millimeter. And you get a nice little dial. And there's a nice resistance on this dial. I mean, it feels nice. Like you're not just going to turn this, it's going to go up. There's a lot of resistance, which is pretty cool. Again, you get the stupid 1/4 inch balanced input, single-ended input. You do get to switch between your balanced, so there is no other button. You do get a 12-volt trigger. It looks like USB-C for updating, and you do need to use, you know, a 15-volt power brick, which sucks. Quite honestly, I wish it would just be USB powered or something, but it is what it is. All aluminum. Both these are. I am hitting this hard. This is all aluminum. These things are like little bricks. Has plastic bottom. Same thing here, plastic bottom. But these things, to get metal machined, aluminum machined out of this, these things are just cool as shit. I mean, there's nothing cool, you know, better that you could have on your desk than this little stack right here. To put it in perspective, if I put this out there, put that on top of my Schiit Bifrost 2, it is small. If you're a minimalist, you're gonna love this. So let's get into the kind of the specs, the details, all that kind of stuff. So stick around and let's talk about the fun stuff. All right, topping. Let's talk topping. So we've already did the intro. Let's talk a little bit about how these things sound. So I have the topping D50III here, the topping A50III here. The topping DAC, I guess, we got to talk about these together. It's hard to imagine if you're going to buy them, you're probably going to buy them together just because you're a minimalist. You don't want this much, you know, audiophile junk sitting in front of you. So you're a minimalist. You just want two little boxes out of the way, and you want squeaky clean sound. Topping has got you all the way. The topping, let's get into prices, some of the details of these items. So the topping D50III comes in at $229 over at APOS. They did send me these. All thoughts and opinions are mine. Didn't tell me to say anything otherwise. If you are going to buy any kind of audiophile product, I highly recommend you head over to APOS because they have probably the best customer service. They stock these items and they ship really, really fast. So with that said, the topping A50III is $199. So altogether, you're looking at a $499 $28 kind of stack. Sometimes they run sales. Sometimes they have APOS certified products. So you got to pay attention. I'll drop the links down below. I'll try to find the best thing. And you do notice when you go head over to APOS, you can, if you look at one item, you can add in another item. You can commonly, they'll throw in some other APOS flow cables. So just pay attention. You can get a incredibly great deal by packaging these together at APOS, and they're a great deal. The topping D50, D50III. Sorry, it's a letter number mix up with these products. Anyways, so the D50III here is using dual ES9039 Q2M DAC chips. They say they have a new I-5 output stage, or however you say that. So it's basically outputting really good from the DAC. And if you've been around for a while, I've been a little bit critical on Toppings products. They've been overly thin, and I think this DAC sounds absolutely amazing. Crystal clear, detailed. If you want detail, this is going to be your product. Now, heading over to the amplifier, basically you do get 3 gain options: low, medium, high. I kept one on high for even IEMs, and actually for running 300 ohm headphones. So didn't notice any hissing or sound in the high output mode. So depending on kind of the sensitivity IEM you're using, your experiences may differ. I did not notice any hissing when using high gain for IEMs, although I barely had to turn the knob. I should say that. Anyways, they do rate the amplifier in 2 kind of settings. The squeaky clean, I think this thing is rated, both the DAC and the amp are rated, to incredibly, crazy numbers. I think it's the DAC is like 0.00006 4 zeros, and the amplifier is like 4 zeros and a 5. Okay, both of them are squeaky clean. But what you will notice with this amplifier is that, for example, with the 32 ohm headphone, you're getting 800 milliwatts times 2 channels at 0.00005 4 zeros. And if you go up to basically 3.5 watts, you're at 0.1 distortion. So they're not just giving you the squeaky clean number down at a low level. They're also giving you, if you turn this thing up to 3.5 watts, which apparently it can output 3.5 watts. So incredibly powerful amplifier. You just know that with that, you're getting more distortion. Also, they do rate this at 300 ohm headphones. You're getting 400 milliwatts times 2, and at 0.403 and up to 760 milliwatts at 0.1% distortion. So topic stuff, pretty squeaky clean. You just know that you are with increasing power, you're also increasing distortion. Just know that these are the, I believe, NFC kind of output chips that they use for amplification. I have not been the biggest fan, although the implementation here sounds better than I've heard before. Sounds deeper, thicker, a little bit more bold, I guess, best way of putting it. And we'll talk a little bit about the sound. Going back to the DAC, you have plenty of options. What you do get in the box, you do get a wonderful remote. You do get a wonderful remote here. And I do, most of the time, I don't even present these when the item's here because I can just touch it. Although with this device, since the buttons are so small, everything's so small, this actually works really good. You can use this as a preamplifier, so you could run this as a DAC and preamplifier into your main system and just use this to change the output volume. You do get a USB-C cable. You do get a USB to C cable. And you do get the Bluetooth antenna, which I don't have attached because it does run LDAC Bluetooth. So you get all your stuff, and I already mentioned that in the kind of covering the intro to this video. So you pretty much can change anything you want, including you can change, which is pretty cool, kind of the modes of it, which they call FIR. I didn't really hear a difference. You could hear a difference maybe with a two-channel system, but with headphones, I did not. Most of my listening was done with the SIMGOT 500 LMs here, which are my favorite IEMs. Over the last year, these budget like $80, $89 IEMs have just blown me away. They handle EQ incredibly well. Anything I do with these, they react, and I can make these into bass monsters if I want. And then I went to my trusty old ZMF Verites because I try to test every amplifier with something that's sensitive, be it in this case an IEM. Usually I would try to use an 8 ohm or a 10 ohm kind of, whether it be IEM or headphone. In this case, I did not do it this time, but normally I do. In this case, I'm just using the SIMGOT 500 LM. And these are 300 ohm dynamic driver headphones. So we want to test this out. And what I have to say, and I've been listening to a lot of Hollywood Undead recently. Coming In Hot has just been one of my favorite songs. And the other one is Everywhere I Go. So if you can do me a favor, after this video, go head over, listen to Hollywood Undead, Coming In Hot, and Everywhere I Go. Drop a comment down below. Tell me what you think of those songs. Greatly appreciate it. Even if you hate it, just say, nah, that's not my shit, man. That's fine, all right? The next thing is Injustice for All. I've been on a Metallica kick for, God, it's got to be the last year. It comes and goes, what I'm listening to. But Injustice for All, Metallica has just been on my hot list. And, you know, my playlist keeps popping up what I recently played. And guess what? That's what I recently played. It sounded great through these IEMs. Everything. The drums are authoritative. Guitar sounded great. Vocals popped great. Again, that is somewhat of the function of the IEM, the frequency response. But in this case, it sounded very good. It didn't sound too thin, which can happen with some of the topping products. Not this pair. It sounds very thick, warm, lush. I wouldn't say warm. I would say neutral. Topping products are neutral. But it's not thin on the cold side. It's more on the neutral side, and that's perfectly fine because you can color it with whatever products, and you can also use an external EQ, which I do with my MacBook, even though when I review products, I do not turn it on. But when I'm listening for personal use, yes, I'm turning that baby on, and I'm adjusting things to fit my needs. Then I going over to the Verites, and you can actually look at the dot here. Well, maybe it's too small, but it's at noon, okay? So I'm only using about half the amount of power out of that amplifier to drive the Verite. So easily can drive a 300 ohm headphone, no problem. You turn it up past that, you do start to hear some of the noise. It's not scratchy. It doesn't sound like totally distorted. It just doesn't sound as crisp as it sounded before. Everyone may perceive that distortion a little bit differently. For me, everything became flat and just didn't sound as good. But it was plenty loud, probably louder than you want to listen at for long periods of time. We'll say that. But I have to say, using the Verites with this is not a good match. I do love the Verites with a good tube amp, the Darkvoice TA66 here. Review coming up shortly on this amplifier. Probably one of the best deals in recent times for a tube amplifier. So stick around on that. With the topping, not a good pairing. Just sounds very thin. Just is not a good match. So I'm assuming that higher impedance headphones and things like that are not a good fit. So if you're running lower impedance headphones, you're running IEMs, this stack, the D50III and the A50III are perfect. All right, these things are going to be perfect, especially if you're a minimalist. Highly recommend you head over to APOS, put these in your cart, go purchase them. You're not going to want to turn back and buy anything else. That's all you really need, and you don't need to spend any more money. Just stay there because these things are built like tanks. CNC aluminum. I mean, come on. Hey, I appreciate you watching my video, watching my content. All I ask, if you're going to watch somebody's free content, that is that you like and subscribe. It costs you nothing. Don't be a deadbeat. Just hit like, subscribe, add a comment. I mean, yes, I'm used to all the people saying bad things. You know, that's the kind of internet thing. Why don't you just, you know, wake up and say, I'm going to be a nice guy today. I'm just going to say thank you. Even if you're watching someone's, you know, how to repair a car and how to turn off your oil change light, just go thank them. You don't have to do it on my video, but if you're watching someone's content, just like, subscribe, and drop a comment. That's all, you know, content creators ask for. That's all I have from today. Peace. Take care.